All right, today we're jumping into something huge. A really ambitious idea about using some pretty advanced AI to go after one of the world's oldest and toughest challenges. The goal here is, well, it's nothing short of changing education for millions of kids.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Seriously, what if every single child, no matter where they were born or what their family's income is, had their own guide? Someone patient who makes learning fun and who is perfectly tuned to how they learn. It's a pretty incredible thing to imagine.
Okay, so that's the dream, right? But the reality on the ground is pretty tough. We're talking about millions upon millions of children who are just being left out. They don't have access to the kind of quality education they absolutely deserve. And this isn't some small crack in the system. It's a massive canyon that affects whole communities for generations.
And this isn't just a small problem. We're talking about what a lot of experts are calling a global learning crisis. It's a huge red flag that the old ways of doing things just aren't cutting it for way too many people. It tells us that we don't just need a new idea, we desperately need a whole new approach.
So, you might be wondering, how in the world do you even begin to tackle a problem that massive? Well, you don't try to boil the ocean. You start by focusing. So instead of some generic one-size-fits-all solution, the Kids concept starts with really deep research in specific places, like Nicaragua and Panama. And that means getting on the ground to understand their school curriculum, the tech challenges they face, and what the local communities really need.
And all that work on the ground, it did more than just spit out some data points. It actually created a real mission. It led to this idea for a solution that's driven by a super clear and powerful purpose. And that brings us to the vision for Kids.
So here it is. This is the vision statement. And yeah, it's a big one. But check out the key words here. It's not just about education. It's about quality and personalized education. The whole vision is built on the idea that AI could be the tool that finally makes that possible for every kid out there. But, a big vision is great, but it's just words unless you have a real plan to make it happen. And that's where the mission statement comes in. It gets down to brass tacks. It's about bridging the gap, making it affordable, making it interactive. This is the how that makes the big, inspiring what actually feel possible. Okay, so mission and vision, check. But what does this thing actually do? For the kid using it, what does it feel like? Let's dive into the technology and see how it all comes together. So if you look at how this is built, every single piece is there for a reason, to solve a real problem someone is facing. At the heart of it, you've got the AI tutor, using powerful tech like the OpenAI API. Then, to keep kids hooked, you've got these fun, animated avatars that make it feel more like a game. And this is so important. The lessons aren't generic. They're built to fit local languages and what kids are actually learning in school. And maybe the most critical part? It works offline. That's a total game changer for places where the internet is spotty at best.
Look, cool tech and a great idea are awesome, but they're not enough. To actually get this into the hands of millions of kids, you need a solid, practical plan. So how does this go from a presentation slide to a real tool in a classroom?
And the plan isn't to just, flip a switch and go global. It's smart. It's done in phases. First, you've got the concept development and research. Then comes the really critical part, pilot testing. You work with actual schools and NGOs to see what works and what doesn't. And only after you've proven that it's effective do you even think about moving to a full-scale deployment.
Okay, let's talk about the money and the partnerships, because that's the engine that makes this whole thing go. And you'll see it's not just banking on one thing. It's a mix. It gets funding from NGOs and government grants, but it also has these low-cost subscriptions to keep it going long-term. And the partnerships are everything. You've got device makers to keep costs down and local schools to make sure it's actually helping. This isn't just a feel-good project. It's a sustainable model designed to grow.
All right, so at the end of the day, all of this, the tech, the mission, the business plan, it means nothing if it doesn't actually help kids learn, right? So that brings us to the most important part. How do you know if it's really working? And with all the things they could track, the project has one main goal. A North Star, if you will. And it's super simple, making a real, measurable difference in the basics. We're talking about improving literacy and numeracy rates. That's the ultimate scoreboard.
So how do you actually prove it? When you go to a partner like USAID or another donor, what do you show them?
You track the things that truly matter.
Yeah, you're looking at higher test scores and better literacy rates for sure, but you're also measuring how engaged the students are and
This is huge, whether you're actually making education more fair and accessible for everyone. This is the data that turns a good idea into a proven solution.
So, when you step back and look at the whole picture, the deep research, the clear mission, the smart tech, and this sustainable plan, what you have is Ada's kids. And it really does look like a serious shot at solving one of the world's biggest and most stubborn problems.
And that really leaves us with one final huge question to think about. After all this time, with so much inequality baked into the system, could this be it? Could technology like this, when it's designed with care and purpose, actually be the thing that finally closes the world's education gap? For good?